Hello there, and thank you for joining me. This is Doris Benter of Library Arts, and I'm here to show you today how to create an amazing little dragon using neon colored Model Magic clay. This clay is really fun to work with. It's not messy, it won't stain your hands. It is very clean and easy for cleanup. We're gonna work with the clay around a little foil armature and really have a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go over the materials next and then I'll walk you through the steps. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go over the materials you're gonna need to create your fun little neon dragon. So I'm gonna put my model aside. You're going to need some aluminum foil. Now this is just a sheet that comes out of a sandwich sort of foil sheet box, but this measures about 12 inches by about 8 or 9 inches. Not very big. You're also going to need some Model Magic clay. I have this bright neon red, looks kind of orange. I have a lime green, a lemon yellow, a hot magenta pink, and this black, you're going to want to hold on to the black clay for the very end when we add some details. So that's all you need to get started with your dragon. So let's stop here and I'll start walking you through making the armature and putting the dragon together. Okay, so welcome back. We're going to take the foil now. If your foil sheet is folded up, you're just going to want to unfold it. And the foil is going to act like what we call an armature. So we're going to give it a gentle, and I do mean gentle crumble, because if you crumble it too tight, you won't have much foil to work with. So this is just sort of a soft crumble. Now I want to just start to shape it as I pinch it. So like this might be the dragon's head right here. We're going to crumble it a little bit more to make that long, snaky body. So here, now I have a shape that could be a tail, I have a body, I have a little head here, and that is basically the shape you want for your dragon. Okay, so once you get your shape done, and we'll make that tail a little skinnier, this armature, which is basically your sculpture support for the clay, is going to be built right on top of here. So we need to decide what colors we want to begin with. Well, I think I'm going to begin with some green. So I'm going to flatten it out in my fingers a bit, tear off a piece, and the best way to proceed is to pinch it with your fingers and thumbs as you spread it. Then you can start to pinch it around the foil like so to start covering your dragon. So now I'm going to take a little more green clay, again not all at once because I want to use as much as possible. I'm going to pinch it out like a pancake. I'm going to wrap it around the foil. I see I need a little bit extra up here, so I'm going to patch in some green, thinking about shaping the head, shaping the dragon's body as I go. Gonna take some more. And I'm going to pinch it around the belly of the dragon, like so. Give it a little stretch, pinch it up here, pinch it into the earlier clay I used, like so. So far I have a head and a neck. I'm going to do a little bit more of a belly, and then I'm going to change the color for the tail. So I'm going to take the green, I'm going to put it on top of the dragon like so. Again, pinching it onto the foil just by pressing it gently. And now I'm going to introduce another color. I've decided that I'd like to use some of the yellow to go for the bottom of the belly and for the tail. So I'm going to do the same thing, pinching my clay, flattening it out but this time we're going to start attaching it into the green so it makes sort of like a belly that comes in and turns into a yellow tail on my dragon. So I don't want to use all my yellow up because I want to show you something kind of cool in a minute, but I do want to use enough to definitely get my tail covered all the way down into a point. So here comes my yellow tail, like this, and I'm pinching the clay around. If I see a little spot, I can pinch the clay into place to cover it up. I can also take another pinch of clay because I really don't need that much of the yellow to finish this up. So I'm just gonna do that. Maybe take a little piece here, like so. Okay, so you can see here's my tail, here's my body, here's my head. It looks kind of like a snake, right? Well, I can even decide, oh, I think I'll have a yellow head and then I'll have a green tail. I mean, I could do that if I wanted to. It really is up to you how you want to do it. I had already decided I was going to have a yellow tail, so I think I'll stick with that idea. Now, we're going to add some scales on the back of the dragon. So I'm going to take some pink clay. I'm going to roll it first in my hand so it looks sort of like a snake. Flatten it out a bit. Peel it up here. And I'm going to cut. And this is something that's optional. If you want to use scissors, scissors cut the clay very easily, but you don't have to. You could just form it with your fingers, like so. And what I'm going to do is get a little triangular scale for his neck and head that then goes off. So I'm going to put that right, be careful, it sticks so easily, right here along the head and maybe a little bit along the back, so that I have, as I said, this sort of neck and head thing going on, just like that. Okay, I'll stand that up so it doesn't fall down. I'm going to make some little wings for my dragon, so as if it could fly. And I've decided that I'm going to do a little color mixing here. And this is a great thing to know about Model Magic, is that you can mix it and you can marbleize the color first. If you see, this is kind of marbleized, it's kind of partially mixed. But if I keep mixing it, I can actually end up with a pretty orange like this. I kind of like the look of the marbleized clay. I'm just going to put a little extra pink in here. Don't want to use all the pink either because I'm going to want to use that later. So I'm going to cut this in half and I'm going to make two little wings, and I'm just going to shape them with my fingers. I'm not going to make them that fancy. I'm going to put one over here. So this is going to be one of the wings right here for my dragon, and this one is going to be the other wing like that. And I can pinch to add details onto the wings, like so. So you can see I have two wings on my dragon, and I still have a tail. But before I do the tail, I'm definitely going to want to add some feet. So I think I'll bring that bright red clay in. And I'm going to make two balls about the same size, sort of a little smaller than a gumball. Put my extra pink over here. And what I'm going to do is shape them into 1 foot. You see how it has a little bit of an ankle and a foot? And I'm going to shape it into another foot, like that. So I have two little dragon feet. I'm going to cut 1, 2, some little toes into that dragon foot. So that's where these scissors really come in handy. I'm going to flip over my dragon, and I'm going to add 1, 2, feet. And then it's going to be the tail balancing it in the back, so like that. So I have head, tail, scales going down the neck, and part of the back I have 2 wings, and now I have some feet. Because you want your dragon to be able to stand up. Okay, I think I'm going to take a little bit of that extra pink clay that I had, and I'm going to make some more scales for like the back end of the tail. So once again, I'm just going to do a little triangle cutout. If it doesn't cut out perfectly, I can always recut it or shape it with my fingers. And I'm going to put some little scales here. And you know, since I have some extra clay, I'll fill in the middle too with a little bit of scale work. So cutting those little triangles out, but leaving a little bit of clay underneath the triangles so I can actually attach it to the back of the dragon. So I'm going to go here, like that, here, like that. I think that will probably be enough. Oh yeah. Yep, just going to connect it right there, pull off that little extra one. And now I got a dragon that has scales going up and down the back to the back of the tail. Now, next, let's start working on some eyes. So I like the idea of using a contrasting color like this yellow. I mean, not yellow, this orange, I meant to say. And I'm going to take that and put that as one little eye. So I have a little eye there on the side, and I'm going to do the same thing onto the other side. And notice again, I have not used the black yet because the black is going to be an accent. So we're not going to use the black yet. Okay. Now, I am going to use the black though as a pupil for the eye. So I'm going to put a tiny little pupil. That's going to give the dragon a little more character. I'm also going to use a little bit of the black as a nostrils. 2 tiny, and you could also do it with a black marker if you don't have a lot of black clay left. Maybe you decided to use it earlier. There's 2 little nostrils for my fire-breathing dragon here. Okay, I'm also going, whoa, the clay's still soft, so be careful when you pick it up. I'm going to open the mouth by snipping it. Aha. There we go. We got an open mouth, and of course you're going to want some flames to come out. But let's use a little bit more of that black for detailing first. I think it's fun to take little pieces of clay, and I mean little, like little grain-sized pieces of clay, and just sort of add them on the side of the dragon to add a little contrast and line pattern. So like that. Okay, and I think I'll do 3 more on the other side. 1. There's 2. There is 3. You see, it just adds a kind of nice contrast. You can actually put some in the spine here. If these start getting down for some reason, you can always point them up again. I'm going to add some lines in the wings just for fun. Going to put some lines, one there, one here. Again, it adds a bit of fun contrast. A little bit of that clay getting stuck on there. And I'm going to add, again, just rolling it between my fingers, putting some like veining, you call it like veining in the back of the dragon's wing here. And then I was thinking maybe I would add some black on the tail. So I'm going to take more of the black. And again, you just need tiny amounts of black to add just the right amount of contrast. So 1, 2, 3. Come over here. Let's do it again. I guess I'm being rather symmetrical here. 2. And 3. Oops, it has a little bit of pink showing. Let me flip that around. Yeah, so there's some lines on the back of the tail. Now, the mouth definitely needs some fire. So remember I told you I was keeping just a little bit of that yellow? Now's the time to maybe mix it with some of the pink. Maybe even a little bit of this orange, because I have not used a lot of that orange, and just sort of blend it into a kind of fiery dragon-like piece. So I'm going to take just a little bit of that. I'm going to need to put this in the mouth like that, but in terms of what's coming out of the mouth, I want to use the scissors to kind of make it swirly as if it's fire-breathing dragon, like that. So there's his fire coming out of his mouth. Now I have some extra black, so maybe I'll add some little black toenails onto the foot of my dragon. Okay, so we're just finishing up the feet, adding the toes on. We have the fire-breathing flames coming out of the dragon's mouth, and there you have it. You have yourself a wonderful clay dragon, which, by the way, if you have a dark room and a black light, you can make him glow, because it does glow in the dark because they are made with neon clay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really had a nice time showing you how to make a fun clay dragon. I hope you'll experiment some more on your own, and happy creating. This is Doris Benter from Library Arts. Take care.